Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in another video today, and today we're going to be talking about the Atlanta Falcons potentially signing Kirk Cousins, four-time Pro Bowler. Kirk Cousins is entering free agency after we just saw him tear his Achilles last season against the Green Bay Packers in a game mid-season right before the trade deadline. Kirk Cousins, before that, was a trade target by the Atlanta Falcons. That honestly, they weren't going to trade. The Vikings weren't going to trade him, but that was the team right there, the Atlanta Falcons, that they were going to try though. Cousins played in 8 games before his injury and led the Vikings to a 4-4 record. And honestly, he was one of my favorites for MVP before he went down. And honestly, I think he would have been a front runner for MVP if he doesn't get injured, just because of how much the Vikings pass on offense. 4-4 record, and obviously, he was him and the Vikings were bouncing back from a rough start. They started off 1-4. He had won 3 straight games before his injury, including beating the 49ers. He threw 216 for 311, had a completion percentage of 69.5, which is the highest of his career since the 2018 season with Minnesota, 70.1. He threw 2,331 passing yards in a mere, mind you, 8 games. He was on pace to have one of the highest of his career. He was on pace to have the highest since his 2016 season with Washington. That season was 4,917. I don't think he would have passed that. I think he would have been near that. I think he would have, if he doesn't get hurt, he probably would have been in the range of 4,600 to 4,800, but he would have been close. No, honestly, he also had 18 touchdowns and 5 interceptions thrown. Kirk Cousins, if he stays healthy, probably would have had one of the best campaigns to win MVP. I think the only thing that would have been depending on would have been his team's record. But Kirk Cousins was having one of the best, years of his career before he gets injured, and now he's a free agent. The Vikings want to bring him back, but it's a question whether they will bring him back. And the favorite to land him, if he does leave the Vikings, are the Atlanta Falcons. And I got to say, the Atlanta Falcons adding in Kirk Cousins with, the offense they had last season, they have Drake London, and they have Kyle Pitts, and they have Bijan Robinson, and they have a good defense. Honestly, that's a great offense, and if they had a better quarterback throughout the season, I think the Falcons probably would have won their division over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I think that's the truth. But also, there is a good chance the Falcons do make some upgrades to their offense this year. They are expected to add in a couple wide receivers to their wide receiver core. They're outside of Drake London, their wide receiver core is kind of weak, so I expect them to make some additions to the wide receiver core as well. But I think most likely, I really do think Kirk Cousins will end up in Atlanta, and I really think the only team that can end up swooping him from the Atlanta Falcons are his former team, the Minnesota Vikings. I think the big important thing for Kirk Cousins is money in this situation. I think most likely the most likely deal Kirk Cousins will get, I don't know about the Falcons, but I know the deal he'll probably get from the Vikings, their offer will probably be maybe a 2-year, $80 million that's what I'm thinking from the Vikings. We'll see. Now I don't know what the Falcons will offer him. I don't know if he'll get more than a 2-year deal. I don't think really any GM would give him more than a 2-year deal, knowing the injury he's coming off and also at his age. So I think at the max he will get a 2-year deal, but I think the money is important. I think if he doesn't get injured, I think any team will happily throw $40 million his way. But with his injury, him tearing his Achilles, I think teams are going to be more hesitant to offer him that kind of money. But I think the Falcons and the Vikings are 2 teams that will be willing to give him $40 million. But which team would he rather go to? And would one of those teams be willing to outbid the other to land Kirk Kirk Cousins or bring back Kirk Cousins in the Vikings case. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoy. Let me know your thoughts, and peace out.